Okay, I've got a valve compressor here. When you're taking these valves off, get you a nice good magnet. I got this one out of it's actually out of a fan from a computer. Nice strong magnet. When you get that cranked down, there's a little keeper in there, a lock keeper, and it'll start coming out. And you can grab it with a magnet and it'll pop out a lot easier. Otherwise, you're probably going to have problems with it. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. I've got this spring compressed. Take your magnet, push down on your spring, and you should be able to work them keepers out of there. There we go. Got one. Two. Alright. There's that. I went ahead and made a diagram here. I'm actually going to do these all at once. A little bit worried about spraying cleaner in there, doing it one at a time, because when I go to put these valve seals back in, if that cleaner can make your rubber expand, and it'd be pointless in even doing all this. So I marked them. I'll put the springs. I got my exhaust, got my intake, put the springs where they match up, and then I'll go back and put them back in. And just don't. Alright, we're going to do some valve grinding here. Says put a liberal amount on there. I'd say that's liberal. Alright, I'm going to hook a drill to the back end of this, and I'm just going to turn it for about 5 seconds. You want to make sure that your valve stem's got lubrication. I'd put a drop of oil on it. Alright, so I got my drill hooked to the back. I don't have it cranked down real tight. You don't need to. We're not trying to drive anything through concrete or anything. We're just trying to get a good clean seal on our valves. And like I said, make sure it's lubed up, and we'll end up getting a nice clean seat on there. Okay, as you can see now, we got a nice clean seat. Goes all the way around. Does in there too. I haven't cleaned it up yet, so once I hit it with some carb cleaner, it should be nice and shiny. And first thing I would suggest is blowing some, if you're doing exhaust, blow some carb cleaner through there in case you've got any on that stem there, or any grinder stuff in the valve system or anything like that. You don't want it going down in your cylinder and chewing up your rings after all this work. Alright, finishing up, getting all the valves off. Just got the last keeper out of that. This particular bike's got 2 springs for each valve. I'm going to go back and take off all these oil seals. I've already got the one taken off of here. I'll hit each one of these with a drop of oil on that valve. I'll put my grinder on the other side, my grinding compound, and hook the drill to this side and seat each one of these valves. As you can see, I've got all my springs. I put the keepers on the top end. Like I said, exhaust there, intake there. Keep your stuff in line. Alright, got all the old seals off. I went back with a cloth and cleaned them all off real good, and you want to make sure that none of your old seals, some of the rubber stuck to it, because when you put your new ones on, you just want to make sure you get your ducts lined up. So I'm going to drop a drop of oil on each one of these, put some valve grinder compound on the other side, and get busy. And I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Alright, got all these valves nice and seated. I've already sprayed a bunch of carb cleaner in it. Don't be cheap on this stuff, especially if you're using grinding compound, like I said. So use that, use air hose, do it a couple of times, make sure you get all that grinding compound out of there. You're going to have problems. So anyway, that's what you should end up with. Nice shiny. You're not going for gold or anything like that. You just want to be able to seat them. So don't go crazy with your drill. They sell hand tools to do it too. Alright, just going to let y'all know, I basically used 2 cans of carb cleaner to do this valve job. And I went back and used 100 pounds of air, blew everything out, top, bottom, did it twice. I'm going to put the valve seals on now, and what I'm going to do is I've got some oil in a lid here. I'm just going to take a drop, put a little bit on the valve stem, then I'll put the valve seal over it, and that way it has a little lubrication in there. And that's what we're going to do now. And then we'll put the springs on. Got them all lined out. Putting them catchers back in is always going to be a fun time. But alright, here we go. Okay guys, when you're putting these keepers in, get your springs cranked down pretty good. You can see that one starting to rise up towards the bottom. The other one isn't nearly as a high pressure spring. Just push it down with your hand, shove that keeper in there, and it should drop down the groove. That one's in. Sometimes you can either spin the keeper or just spin the whole valve. And once again, just put that in there. And that's it. That's how you do her. Alright, done with the valve job. All of them back on, everything's clean. Knocked as much of the carbon off as I could. And we'll just have to clean everything up real good. I may still take a little wire wheel and hit the ends of these valves. You don't want any carbon coming loose and going down in your cylinders.